hit like and subscribe. You're watching the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel.
Good morning, everyone. If you are watching here live, that means it's Saturday at 11 Eastern. So I say good morning. I say ekaro for those who know you know. If you're watching after, greetings. Welcome to Ascending on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. I am your host, April R. Silver. I am really happy to be here. This is going to be a super duper dope day, even though it's going to be different than what was announced. So, family, as you go ahead and get settled and start checking in, telling us where you're from, what city you're watching from. Shout out to all our international viewers. So just check in, get settled, stay with us for sure, but it's going to be different because our esteemed guest, who has been scheduled for quite some time, Malik Yoba, the one and only legendary award-winning actor of TV, television, the TV, film, and stage, he will not be with us this morning. Malik Yoba, actually, we needed to reschedule. I talked to him like 3 or 4 times yesterday. Some things prevented for him from having like the best optimum space for him to come in. So our dear friend, our favorite actor, is going to be with us next Saturday, March 22nd. So that means next Saturday we're going to have a double episode, right? We're going to do Malik 11:30. I'm going to chat with him at 11:30. He's committed. He's on board. He has some special announcements that he's going to be able to make next Saturday and not today. So still join us for next Saturday, March 22nd. I just wanted you to know, for those who saw all of the whatever on social media, and his handsome face is like, Malik is coming to Ascending. Yeah, it's not happening. He is coming, but not today. So I just wanted to let you all know. But stay with us because we still have an amazing episode. Tell your people to sign up. Subscribe to the channel, tune in. We go on about like 30 minutes today because I have some announcements. I have some nice things to talk about. But I just want to let you know straight up front, Malik Yoba, the update is Malik Yoba will be with us next Saturday on the 22nd. I don't even know how I first met Malik. It was a long time ago. It was like in the late 90s. I don't remember how, but I'll say this about him. I want to say it now, and I'm going to say it to his face. And I said it to him when we were talking yesterday. That man shows up on the ground level, like amazingly so. A lot of us, Generation X, like I am, right? A lot of us know him from New York Undercover, right? We know him from the movies. Some of us know him from the Disney classic, Cool Runnings. And all the other plays and television shows. What is it? What was it? Why did I get married? What, the Tyler Perry movie? I'm drawing a complete blank right now. Y'all will put it in the chat. But we know him from that, right? But do many of us know that he started off as an intern and then became the vice president of this youth specific community development nonprofit in New York called City Kids before the acting, right? Do we know that he's done so much work with the young people? He has a nonprofit. He has educational programs that are dedicated to young people, youth development, community development. And the few times that I've ever called on Malik to do something community related, he has always shown up without question. He's a man of his word. And it's that type of human being that I love talking to, right? So his accolades and the awards and everything with his acting, that's great. Actually, also, he's Dr. Malik Yoba, real talk. But despite all of those credentials, I'm excited about him coming on next Saturday because he's such a genuine, authentic, on the ground level type of person, but very relatable, and he gives a damn about young people and community development. So I'm looking forward to having a full conversation one-on-one with him next week. But for those who might not know, or maybe you forgot, or you only knew about New York Undercover, there's a lot of depth to him, and we'll get a chance to zone in 100% next week. But for today, we are going to talk about something that's also dear to me, the Black press. We're going to talk about a special anniversary that is for 2025. We're going to sprinkle some good news and some good talking topics on your, in your world, because we need some good news. So this is an opportunity for those who have been with us. This is our ninth episode. Thank you, Mark. We're going to talk about the show. We're going to talk about previous guests. We're going to give some updates, and we're going to take questions. So I want to shout out my team, Drake Almighty, Kevin and Aaron. I want to shout out all of you who are listening from all over the world, all over the country. Those some of you are watching on a very regular basis, be it live or like 3 o'clock on Saturday, because you tell me how great the show is. And so we're really, really appreciative. It's giving me so much inspiration to keep going. So I thank you for those who are loyal. For those who are new and like, who the hell is this bald headed woman? And why does she keep popping up? And what is ascending? And where's Mark? Some of you all are talking to me like Mark is going to walk into the room, right? Like some of you are, I see your comments or whatever, and y'all are like, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark, for a great show. I'm like, Mark's not here. Like maybe he's above my head, but somebody, did I just see a comment that said Mark looks very different? Carson Metz. Yeah, Mark's not here. Mark, well, he's here, but he ain't here. I'm April, and I'm happy to be here. So for all of those, like this is his channel, but Mark gave me this show, and he ain't gonna even show up until like June. Like I just confirmed that with him a couple of days ago. So he's gonna be here on Ascending in June, day before my birthday. Shout out to all the Geminis. But yeah, so I want to talk about who I am, right? There's a person, I was on night school, right? Mark and I have been friends and business partners for quite some time, right? And there was a person, I don't remember her name. I showed up in night school. I do that. I'm regular, and sometimes I'm just quiet and I'm not in the comments. But this person was like, I really love your show, Ascending. I do watch it, and it made me want to know more about you. This was a person in the comments, when Mark does night school. And it was a really stark reminder that, yeah, there's a whole bunch of people that know me, know my work, know the people I rock with, like amazing people, but they don't have any history or context at all, because I'm typically behind the scenes. So let's talk about a little bit who I am, because Malik Yoba, again, will be with us next Saturday. So that was a schedule change I wanted to remind you on. So to continue to check in, tell your people, we're going to have a short one today. But before I go into my background, my history, and why would somebody as dope and scholarly and brilliant and just, seasoned as Mark be like, I think you should have your own show on my channel. Like, why the hell would he do that for someone like me, right? So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to introduce myself. First, let me talk about the Black press, right? I really want to talk about the Black press, the independent press, the Black press, progressive media, indie Black press. We know that this is a season where there was a Black Press Day at Howard University. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank on the organization. Shout out to Reverend Mark. I know you wanted me to come there, or was thinking about it, but I know it went well. We know that March 16th is the 200th anniversary of the Black press. Shout out to Word in Black. We're going to put some stuff in the chat that I want you all to be mindful of. But there's a consortium of Black publishers that do a daily newsletter that's called Word in Black. I signed up for that maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I love their content so much. Word in Black. These are Black publishers who are like, yo, we're doing our own, consortium, and they give out, they deliver to your inbox amazing content on climate justice, finance, mental health, education, Black business, and these are Black owned media outlets. I think mostly publications, print publications that just come together and have come together, form this union and delivers great content. So I, as a publicist by trade, I'm a publicist, right? I work in communications and marketing. Shout out to Akila Worksongs who turns 32 in 2025. But that's my field, that's my lane. That's where I cut my was one of the lanes where I cut my teeth in terms of this work. And so communications and marketing is my thing, right? That's how I know Marc Lamont Hill in the first place for over 10 years. But so I really have been thinking about, since we started in January, a whole show, or shows rather, dedicated to the Black press. I've already talked to some people and they're confirmed. So I want to shout out L. Joy Williams. Drake, if you could check the calendar, L. Joy is coming on the show one on one. Oh, March 29th, I think, is L. Joy Williams, right? But she's the first of a couple, and she's more of a political activist. Like, that's where she cut her teeth. Shout out to Sunday Civics on Sirius XM. But she's coming on. I think I reached out to Larry. I think Larry Daniel Favors from the Larry Daniel Favors show is in my head. She's a friend. I've been on her show. My guests have been on her show on Sirius XM. But her show is amazing Monday through Friday. 10 to 12 Eastern. But Esther Arma, I'm reaching out to her because I want her to be on, but I'm brainstorming, but I'm also letting you know people who you should look up: Esther Arma, L. Joy Williams, Larry Daniel Favors, Karen Hunter, the OG in the game, and I'm specifically talking about Black women right now in press. Nayaba Arende. Oh, wait, I just looked at my notes. Susan Taylor. So she's my mentor, the everybody's auntie. She is not a journalist, but as the founding editor of Essence magazine and the work that she does with young people and mentoring, I should have started first with Susan Taylor. Before I went to college, the only thing I wanted to do was to write. And then in the 12th grade, I was like, I was in Los Angeles. I'm not from Los Angeles, but in the 12th grade, I was living in LA. And I was like, my sole mission in life is to get back to the East Coast, to go to college, to graduate with a degree. At the time, it was journalism, and then English, and then go write for Susan Taylor at Essence. That's the only thing I wanted to do. I had no other career path but to do that. It's to write for Susan Taylor at Essence. I was going to be a columnist. In my mind, I was going to be a columnist that talked about everything positive in Black and Black women at Essence magazine. The fact that I got to work with her decades later was the dream come true of my life. So if we're talking about Black women in media and marketing and such, we got to talk about Susan L. Taylor, who now runs National Cares Mentoring Movement. We got to talk about Terry Williams. Oh my God, the fact that that woman was my mentor. You got to look up Terry L. Williams, Terrie. Oh shoot, is her middle initial L? I'm drawing a blank, y'all. Sorry. But it's Terry Williams, Terrie. There's not a publicist or a marketing professional in the game breathing alive today that doesn't owe her a head bow, a nod, talking about Terry L. Williams. The fact that she has been my mentor, we've had dinner, she's helped me when I started the business, she has advocated for me. Man, please, I'm taking this moment, what is it? Black Press Day, Black Press Season, and Women's History Month, and I'm specifically shouting out Black women who have nurtured us even when we didn't even know. So I said Susan, I said Terry. I want to shout out Dream Hampton and Joan Morgan. Rosa Clemente is coming on the show. Drake, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. May 3rd. She's already confirmed. So that's May 3rd. We're all away in June booking for the show. So Rosa Clemente, straight up journalist, warrior activist, and a friend of mine. Stacey Patton, is it true, y'all? Y'all could be in. I'm not looking at the comments live. The guys will let me know. But Stacey Patton, who wait, time out. Stacey Patton and I were on a segment with Esther Armah. Esther Armah had a show, a daily show on WBAI radio. That is the Pacifica radio station that's over 50 years old, based in New York, part of the Pacifica Radio network. The flagship show is the flagship station is WBAI in New York. Esther Armah, I forgot what year, maybe it was in the 2010, 2009, somewhere in that area, the mid 2000s, had a show that everybody and their mother listened to every day. You wasn't up on your business if you wasn't checking in and listening to the Esther Armah show. I don't think that was the name of it, but she was the host, right? And she just is the boss, right? So she reached out to me and a couple of people, and we had a segment. I think it was every Tuesday, called The Spin. And our job was to dissect the media. Esther would lead the panel discussion, and it was myself, it was Stacey Patton, and we were the regulars. Like we were the weekly segment leaders with Esther, and the other people that would drop in would be like Joan and Dream, and I'm forgetting some people. Karen Hunter, like she and I and Stacey, we did a whole bunch of episodes together. But we were weekly. We was on fire, but I'm not out there like that, now. So people might be like, word, really? You was hanging with them people? Yeah, I hang with giants. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe that I'm smart enough to hang around with giants. So shout out to Esther, Stacey Patton, who's now, I believe, at Howard in the journalism department, I believe, but she's a beast. She's the warrior that we need. I love her. Drake, she was on our roster too, at Aquila. At least we talked about it. Her book is That Me Know Yesterday. Her first book. She's written several. Who else? Oh, Asha. Asha Pendelli on the phone, our game that we play. So you can't beat me. I'm just telling you now, and I'm saying it, and I'm trumping you right now, Asha, who I love, who I've known since I was in school. But I'm the victor in our little private game that we play with words. April Ryan, Angela Yee, Star, Red Rock, also a Black woman journalist who I would definitely want to shout out. I want you all to look these people up, follow them on social. Star used to be my intern, right? She used to be an intern here at Aquila. I'll tell a funny story about that one day too. But she is now with American Urban Radio Network and doing her own thing. She's an author. So shout out to Star. I'm saying the obvious now. Joy Reid, Jackie Reed. Jackie Reed was on a roster for a nanosecond here at Aquila Worksons as well. Tiffany Cross, Angela Rye, Jamel Hill. It's just so many of us that I'm forgetting, but I needed to shout out people who are dear to my heart. Um, some of them I don't know from a can of paint, or they don't know me, rather, I should say. And others I've just worked very, very closely with. So I just wanted to, because I love Black Press, this is Black Press season. It's Women's History Month. So I wanted to fill the space with some quality name dropping on purpose. So definitely look them up. On that note, our resource page is coming. I talked to Scott, who's my webmaster, and that's coming probably next Saturday, a little bit later than I thought. But for those who are just coming in, Malik Yoba is not going to be with us today. I think we have an announcement that we could put. We could put the banner up. He's coming. Malik Yoba will be on Ascending next Saturday, March 22nd, 2005, in the 11:30 slot. He had to reschedule. It's actually better. It's actually better for the audience because he has some things he wants to announce. The registration for the event is not ready yet. There's some other reasons, but it's actually going to be better when he shows up for next Saturday, the 22nd. So for those of you and you all are still coming in. That's good to know. But for those of you who saw the announcement that Malik Yoba is going to be here as of late yesterday, that became not true. We will change the title, but he will be here 100% confirmed. I love working with Malik. He's an amazing human being. He's a man of his word. I've never, ever done any work, and we haven't done a lot of work together. We've done enough significant work, but it hasn't been like a mountain full of work. He's always kept his word. So I have no question, no doubt that he will be with us next Saturday. So just keep that in mind. If you are expecting to see him, he ain't coming on today, but he'll be here next week. So I want to use this time to big up the Black press. I want to use this time to give some updates on some of our previous episodes. This is episode number 9. We have some updates. I want to shout out Black women, and I want to introduce myself a little bit. And I want your questions. We don't always get to questions as much as I would like, but we're going to do that today. So if you have questions about me, my work, how the hell did I end up with a show on this channel? Like, ask all of those questions. I'm not going to see your comments or questions in real time, but my producers will, and they'll let me know. So, guys, okay, I'm gonna need y'all to break the fourth wall. How come we don't have the other banners? How come I spend all that time creating like wonderful banners and I only see the one that says I love Black press? Okay, there we go.
That's who you were talking about for the longest. So we let it breathe for a while.
All right, everybody, that's Drake Almighty. He hates when I call him that. So Drake Almighty, Drake Almighty. Drake Almighty. Oh, sorry, I froze. I don't know. Blame it on the internet, not me. Let's see. So let's go into ask questions. Tell us where you're coming from. If y'all don't ask questions, I will tell you about my start and how I got here. Thank you. That's the one I was looking for. Malik Yoba will be with us March 22nd. I'm really, really excited and humbled and honored to be able to say to you on this day in March 2025 that next month is our official birth date, April 1st. No lie, no fooling. My agency turns 32. I have been the happiest Black woman independent entrepreneur that you never heard of. Some of you will be 32. I've been doing this for 3 decades plus. And when I say this, I mean communications and marketing. I mean curating events, event programming, everything that's black, energetically and spiritually. I have no idea why my internet keeps going out. Energetically, spiritually, practically, we are connected. But our agency exists. We're based in New York to support those from behind the scenes with their vision for a better world for Black people and for humanity overall. Wow, there's damn near there's everything that's been black for the past 32 years. We've kind of been involved in either directly, indirectly, or somehow we provided counsel, we provided guidance or depth or context or historical lessons or inspiration or email marketing, which is where I cut my teeth, or press or the liaison between that event, that person, that product, that service, and the press. We've been involved in like all the progressive movements, often behind the scenes. We do so in a way that's reputable and honorable. Hey, Morris Red. We do so in a way that's reputable and honorable. We do so in a way that confirms we actually give a damn about the advancement of Black people, of people of color. I use that term in air quotes. I'm deciphering whether or not I still want to use people of color. I don't know. I'm still processing. But people of African ancestry and people who give a damn about the progression of humanity, who give a damn about justice and fairness and living in peace and being able to be oneself. That's who we've been rocking with. I could name drop, but that might come off a little, I don't know. Y'all can ask questions and I'll answer. But There's very few institutions, very few individuals, very few cooperatives that we haven't been attached to in some kind of way, whether you knew us, we were there in the room or not. For the past 32 years, we've been contributing. I'm very, very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of that. It has not been easy. I started off with an English degree and fell into PR and marketing. And I never wanted to call myself a publicist because that's what Terry Williams does. So I used to be like, yeah, the PR person. Please don't call me a publicist. I haven't earned that title. That was in the beginning. And it's just been an amazing journey, but it's been very difficult. I proudly, not proudly, but I have no shame in saying that I've been evicted twice, right? Never had to sleep on the street, but I've been evicted twice because it's really, really hard to be an entrepreneur. And when we started in 1990, how you working from home and you're a legit business? This was in 1993 when you were judged whether or not you had office space downtown, wherever downtown was. That's not the case now, but things change. I've been working from home since 1993 when it wasn't popular. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't the shit. I had my own fax phone. I had 3 separate lines in my apartment. I had a Pitney Bowes machine. This is when people were using stamps. So, so I was very confident in how I did stuff and what I did. Fast forward 32 years later, people are like, go to work, go to an office space, ill. But when I started, you had to have office space. You weren't legit otherwise. So we've seen a couple of seasons. So it's been difficult. I'm still here. I have a team. I have a staff. Um, I have history. I have amazing stories. But it's been with difficulty, right? Like I said, I've been evicted twice. I have a joke with one of my best friends where there was a time all I could eat and afford was sweet potatoes. Like that was that like they were super cheap and that's all I could eat. And nobody knew it because I didn't go around talking about it. But that was a thing because it's a struggle being independent and not knowing when your next check is coming. And not knowing if the client is going to keep their word. One of the first times I got evicted is because the day that I went to go get the check that was due from this particular client, I won't say who they are. They are coming on the show though. But if I ever talk about it, it's going to be in jest and love because I love them so much. But the day I went to go downtown Brooklyn on Livingston and wherever that diner is, I forget. I went to go pick up a check. And that's the day I found out when I met with the client that they didn't have the check. And it was a couple of thousands. They didn't have the check. And not because they didn't want to give it to me, but they were waiting for a check and they didn't get it. So I couldn't get the check that was due to me. And oh my God, that caused for the eviction. There was the time when my first white client, real talk, was Alex Bouillon, the jazz musician. I was in turmoil that there was going to be a white person on the Aquila Work Songs roster. This was a long time ago, y'all. I'm, past that. But at the time, I was like, a white person and jazz on my roster? Oh, God, it took me forever to decide to do it, right? So we worked with Alex Bouillon. I can't remember the album, but it was a return album. His manager, Drake, who's Maureen Singleton, was his manager at the time. That's how I got connected to Alex Bouillon. It went well. We had an amazing run. Us, meaning Aquila Work Songs, doing publicity for Alex Bouillon when he returned to the music scene. That's soft jazz, right? For those who might not know. And then when it was time for the final payment, I guess I could say this now. It's all good. It's 1,000 years ago. He decided not to pay us. And so it wasn't because he thought that we did anything wrong. It was for another reason. I was like, oh no, wait, that's thousands of dollars you owe. We did the work. The contract is over. How are you going to not pay the second half? So I took him to court. I took him to court and won. I remember Drake served the papers to his manager, I think, right? Um, but I was devastated. How do you have a wonderful relationship? And I went through all of these emotional somersaults to decide that it was okay to have a white man on my roster. We end up having a great time together. We did dope work. And then you decide that you don't want to pay me because you got beef with somebody else. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And so I couldn't convince him otherwise to take me out of it. This is Alex Bouillon, right? And so he's like, I got to stand my ground. I was like, but on that ground, I was in turmoil, and I talked to my
You froze up a little, April. You might want to rewind that story a little. Having a little bit of technical issues there. So
mother. I never forget. And I oh, y'all, hold on. I know why I keep freezing. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna fix this in real time, y'all. Hold on. I know why I'm freezing and I'm gonna fix it. So 1 second. Mark. I'm blaming it on Mark. I think I'm back. Thank you for not leaving. It's Mark's fault. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So my mother is like, I hear you. You should be upset. That's really not cool that he's doing that. And I had told my mother, I can't convince anymore. I can't make him make sense. I'm tired. I'm fatigued. I'm worn out. I just got to let it go. I just got to eat it because I don't want to take him to court. At that time, I didn't want to take him to court. And my mother said, I hear you, and you should cry on my shoulder. That's what I'm here for. But when you finish crying, I need you to wipe your eyes. This is on the phone. I need you to wipe your eyes, go to bed, take a good night, sleep, rest. And then when you wake up tomorrow, take that motherfucker to court. Language alert, sorry. She was like, you cannot be the person that people think that they could just wear you out and you roll over. You are new in this business, and that's not the precedent that you want to set. He owes you money. You are entitled to that money. Go take his ass to small claims court. So she helped me to straighten up my back because she was right. I called Drake and was like, yo, we got to take him to court, even though we're friends. But he's sticking to his guns. We got to stick to our guns. Drake went to serve the papers to his lawyer in Manhattan. We went to court, got to court face to face in front of the judge, me and Alex Bouillon. And then Alex Bouillon said to the judge, I like April. She did great work. But the reason I have to not honor this business relationship because it was whatever with something that doesn't have to do with her, but I need to stand my ground as a businessman and take this stance, even though Akila Work Songs, April and her team did great work. So the judge looked at him and be like and said, you know, you just won her case, right? I didn't say nothing. The judge was like, you just won her case. So not only do you have to pay her what you owe her according to the invoice that she just presented that you did not dispute, you have to pay her more. I'm gonna give you a couple of months to do it, but I'm gonna add on whatever she added on. And he paid by the deadline, and we had a wonderful conversation thereafter. And we were cool. But I got mad stories like that. I say that to say it's hard to make a decision to go into business for yourself. And I would recommend you not do it if you don't have stamina, If you don't know why you want to do it, if this is about your ego, maybe not do it. If you think you want to be in business because everybody else says you should, don't do it for that reason. The stamina that's needed, the sacrifice, and the lack of thank yous is a real thing. So, as someone who's been doing this for 32 years, I'm the proudest 56-year-old that you know. So I got a lot of skin in the game, a lot of hard stories. The memoir is coming, real talk. But don't do it because you have an emotional pull to do it. That to me, from my opinion, it's not enough. It's not going to sustain you. Your emotional excitement and your passion is not going to always sustain you. There is a level of discipline and focus and alignment that is needed, and cash that is needed in order for you to stay in the game when it's not popular, when people are telling you go get a job. Every uncle and aunt, for the most part, was like, "You sure you don't want to stay in teaching?" Sorry, I'm trying to fix my shoe. "You sure you don't want to stay in teaching?" I was a New York City. What was I? It was the Board of Ed when I was teaching in New York City schools. Shout out to Tim. He says, as you begin, oh, there's a question. Sorry, keep the question up because I'm rambling. When I started, I was Akila Work Songs. I was a substitute teacher. Then I became a permanent teacher. And I was doing Akila Work Songs on the side. And then I threw my wallet over the fence and started to do Akila Work Songs full time in 1998. But Akila Work Songs existed for 5 years prior. We started in 93. I went full time in 98. I say the level of discipline and focus and cash and willingness to sacrifice is got to trump your emotional desire to be your own boss, because that latter part's not sustainable. Question: Happy anniversary to Killer Work Songs. As you begin your journey, you were closer to the change agents that inspired you. How does your company pivot to be the inspiration to a generation of creators? Thank you, Mr. Jones, regular watcher. How do I pivot? I believe that the willingness to share stories and be vulnerable, and this is something one of my girlfriends always talks about, Akanke and I, who was on the show 2 weeks ago. The willingness to be vulnerable, or some people say to be authentic, to put your guard down, which is something I have trouble with, but there's value in being able to tell the things that are glorious and the cautionary tales. I delight in telling cautionary tales. I am living proof that the cautionary tales matter because we've sustained so much. So I look forward to when Mark gave me the opportunity to do this show. I was like, hell yeah, say less. I'm there. When this book publisher was like, give me a couple of chapters. I want to hear your story. Your memoir is important. I'm like, okay, let me get to writing. When there's stories that I'm a part of where we have film directors, singular, sorry, that I can't talk about fully right now, but the stories and the movements that I've been a part of, people want to know about them, right? Because they're cautionary tales, and I'm a part of a lineage of freedom fighters that where the stories have to be told so that the next generation of freedom fighters know that this work is worth it, that is doable, and we have victories that go back thousands of years, hundreds of years, and victories and stories and cautionary tales that go back 32 years. You know what I mean? So it is important that we know our history. And the women, oh my God, the women who have carried the culture on their backs, and the men too, but I'm talking about the women right now. and that we're still here and we can tell the truth and we can be like, yeah, you can go that way if you want to, but here's some things that you might have to deal with. You sure you want to do that? I don't tell people what they should do. I just make recommendations. And I think that talking about the way I cut my teeth in the hip hop education movement or hip hop and social justice, arts and activism, shout out to the cultural initiative. All three of my producers were the founding members, plural, of the cultural initiative, the first hip hop conference, groundbreaking, culture shattering hip hop conference on the college campus in 1991. The takeover of the administration building, the way that we relied on our predecessors, the way that Sonia Sanchez and Amiri Baraka came to us. Man, let me say this part real quick. When we were taking over the administration building at Howard University in 1989, during that whole season, I will never forget the prep meeting, the inspirational meeting that we were supposed to have, and the OG came in the room, Amiri Baraka, and he was at the podium to give us a pep talk about what we were doing was right and righteous, and we had to hold this institution accountable, and what lineage of freedom fighter and student activists that we were a part of. He was there to give us the rah-rah, to be that coach, and we was like, yo, this man has seen it all, right? Fighting the police in Newark and just all of the good shit, right? That we was here for it. That man got to the podium and was like, they will kill you. He was like, they will kill you, right? They have killed Black students for less than what y'all are doing right now. So if you're not serious, you need to get up out of here because you could lose your life. If you want to talk about history, let's talk about all of those people, whether they went to college or not, all of those freedom fighters who put their lives on the line, whether we know their names or not. So I want to be amongst the people to be like, so how serious are you? You want to talk about doing this work, but you ain't got no discipline. You can't even drink 16 ounces of water a day to cleanse your system so you can be clear headed, but you want to fight? Man, please. And what Sonia taught us, sorry, I got to shout out all my OGs. I'm blessed to be able to pick up the phone or to have them call me to check. Sonia used to be like, or still is, go watch that episode on Sonia Sanchez that we did here on Ascending. Sonia Sanchez. She was like, we were of the generation in the 60s and 70s during the Black Arts Movement and the Black Power Movement where we chastised people for not doing 100%, 1,000,000% of the time. We made people feel bad by talking about, I need a rest, I need a break. We made people feel bad when they wanted to talk about in the 60s and 70s being vegan and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm paraphrasing her, right? And she was like, I need your generation to understand. And this is her talking to me, right? Let me see. I'm 56. A great mother is she's got me by 40 something years. So I'm talking to the 14, 15, 16, 17-year olds that trying to make this decision. I'm saying that what the people before us said was take your break. Take care of yourself. All of our elders was like, that's important. And I don't mean people setting up boundaries and taking a break if it is actually camouflage for not wanting to do the work or for being scared. I would like us to acknowledge that we can be the firefighters that we are, firefighters, freedom fighter, well, firefighters too. That we could be all of that and be tired and be scared and still look for places to find replenishment and nourishment. That's important. But don't use it, please, as a way to not do the emotional work and to not turn into self and build healthy relationships. So I just wanted to shout out the lineage that I'm a part of. I named those Black women in media and marketing on purpose. The resource page is coming. We will drop all of those names. Some of those people you will see here on Ascending as guests, and you get to ask them all the questions. Thank you for tuning in. Malik Yoba will be with us. Not only will Malik Yoba be with us next Saturday, March 22nd, for those who are watching live, but we're going to be talking about Black literature in the first segment. Shout out to the Center for Black Literature that's now headed by Donna Hill, sorry. Donna Hill is the new executive director at the Center for Black Literature. So they got some amazing stuff coming up. So if you know Black writers, particularly children's book, children's literature authors and young adult, like you got to be here next week. And in the second segment, we'll have Malik Yoba talking about his community activism, his youth development work, and Malik Yoba now is a real estate developer, so we're going to talk about that as well. So everybody, thank you so much for rocking with us. Y'all didn't be like, oh, I don't care about this show. Malik is not here. Y'all actually stayed. I look forward to your comments afterwards. Thank you so much. Drake, am I signing out? Am I ending out on a high note, guys? Am I done?
Yes, you're clear. You're clear to end.
Drake. Okay, I guess maybe that's a yes. So,
Yes.
oh my God. Yeah, we've been going for a minute. So thank you much. We will see you next Saturday. Every Saturday, 11 a.m., we go live. Thank you to everybody. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to go to AquilaWorksongs.com, learn more about who we are, what we do. We will see you next Saturday. Stay up.